All right, here we go at no reserve. We had our all original 92 Ford F-150. That's extended cab, short bed, 4x4. You can see the lenses are nice and clear. All the turn signals got good color. A little bit of condensation in that light, as we talked about. You can see it's running nice and smooth. No belt squeal or anything like that. It's had a full ignition tune-up, brake master cylinder, front brakes, brake booster. It's got automatic hubs with a push-button four-wheel drive system that work great. We did the new motor on the transfer case. The license plate up there has got a protective magnet on it. We put them up there. It doesn't scratch the paint or nothing, but just in case they fall off, they fall in the bed, because we've lost some before when they're on the tailgate. It's about 28 degrees here. We see we got a lot of snow, so you just have a little cold weather condensation coming from the exhaust. Truck hasn't been driven for a few days, and it's coming up to temperature though. So we'll get going here. All right, turn off the four-way. So we've got 181,000 and 136 miles at this point. And it's got power windows, of course. You know, a little bit slow going up and down, just because of rubbers, because it's you know, they're nice and soft and everything. But they're a little bit tight right now from just being so cold. Both wing windows are nice and tight, you know, stay in place. They don't move around with the wind. They're nice and stiff, so they haven't been opened up very much. Their lock is really tight to the window. Power door locks. So we'll get ready to rumble here. Heater works really good. I'll turn it on high. It works on all speeds. Sometimes when they get wore out, they'll only work on low and high, so hopefully you can hear me change it. Medium high, medium low, and then low. You don't hear too much on it, but all the blend doors work. You'll hear it kind of change. There's a mix, there's floor. You'll kind of hear the sound of the air pitch change, and there's, so we'll go back up to defrost. I'll turn it down to medium high, so medium low, so you guys don't hear it. It's got a nice little Pioneer CD player.
On the new hits. 106.1. Installed in Newcastle, southbound 405.
So it's nice and clear. Horn works. We'll get your map lights work. Oh, there you can see, you know, dome light works. And then in some of the pictures or the other video, you might see that the seatbelt wasn't pulled through here, so I pulled it all the way through. And there was one little fin missing on the vent over there, but we got one off of eBay. And so we'll get ready to go here. I'll turn off the overdrive so you can see the light works. This is the button, you know, it just will flash at you if there's an issue. So we're gonna go ahead and get going. Got to park, and when you click the four-wheel drive, you'll hear it click on, and you'll see the little light. Make sure nobody's behind me. There we go. And then you got the 4x4 light up there, and you'll feel it kind of grabbing. And so if you want to go into 4 low, you got to stop, put it in neutral, and you'll hear the 4 low activate, and it goes. So we're gonna, alrighty, so that works good and everything. Put it in neutral. It goes out of 4 low, and you'll hear it disengage. And make sure nobody's behind me. I always like to back up a little bit, because that's always a sure way to disengage it. But if you're driving down the road and you hit the 4-wheel drive, you don't need to come to a stop. And when you need to turn it off, you can be, if you're in 4 high, you can keep driving and just hit it and it'll disengage. So I'll turn off the radio so it doesn't make any less sounds. You know, visors stay up and everything, which is nice on an older truck. You know, no exhaust leaks. It's got a couple little pinholes in the muffler, and it's kind of like the window. It's got a couple chips, but we've, you know, it's $175. We could put a new window in. But we've replaced, over the years, we've done a lot of trucks and cars, and we replaced the windows, and then on transport they get chipped up again. So it's got a little crack over there. But the muffler, like if this was my truck, I would replace the whole exhaust system. You know, I honestly would get rid of the cat and do a nice performance exhaust. So we're not, I'm gonna leave the muffler on there just because, you know, it's not a late model vehicle, it's a classic truck, so a lot of people would probably put a performance exhaust on it. Just a regular OEM muffler would go on there fine. There's no pinholes that are rust in any of the other exhaust, tailpipes or anything. But these sound great with like Flowmaster or Borla, and then especially if you get rid of the cat, you always want to leave the O2 sensor in there, but that's kind of up to the owner. So we'll get going here on the highway. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the overdrive on. You can see the blinker light comes on, the arrow. Sometimes those won't come through on the dash. I am looking for a replacement steering wheel, so I'll update the auction if I do get one put on. Like I was talking about in the other video, somebody had a steering wheel cover on it forever, and that just itself kind of wore in the material, but the leather itself is still tight, so it saved that part, but it just wore this. I think if they would have taken it off and conditioned it once in a while, it'd be good. All right, so we're gonna hopefully get up to some highway speeds. Can't remember if I did the wipers or not. It's got brand new wipers. High speed, I put it on intermediate. So just giving it like quarter throttle. There's intermediate. So it comes on and everything. If I go ahead and turn them off since it's not raining. You do get a little bit of wind noise through you'll hear through the door. It drives, you can see the paint job is really nice, reflective. But the overdrive off button is something you could just, it's kind of like, you know, kind of owner preference, kind of like doing your oil change. Some people do it every 4,000, 3,000, 2,500, 5,000. But this is just kind of, if you're driving, you know, through the town, and let me give it some gas here. Your brake's really nice, straight and smooth. E-brake does work, but the light doesn't come on the dash for some reason. So I'm gonna exit off of here. Here we go. And you can see it brake's really nice, straight and smooth. The steering wheel's not pulling any direction. But back to the overdrive off is like, you know, if you're going through town or you're doing some towing or you're going through stop and go traffic, you could turn the overdrive off and it'll keep it from going into overdrive, fourth gear, and back down, up and down, up and down. It just keeps a little bit of the wear and tear. But if you're somebody that never wants to mess with it, you don't worry about it. You just never push it and you just keep going. So there's some potholes in this road. No rattles or anything from the undercarriage. Here's a little patch. You do get some, you know, little tiny, you know, 30-year-old rattles on the inside. Just some little things, but nothing that drive you insane or of concern. This era of the bench seat, the headrest kind of tend to rattle a little bit, and the passenger side one does a little bit over some bumps. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off just because we're gonna go through some tight 90s. Both of the cigarette lighter works if you want to charge up an iPod or your cell phone. The power outlet also works good. Shifts nice and firm. It feels like the training's been gone through. It shifts just perfectly normal, like nice and soft, just cruising through town or going on the highway, which is giving it normal throttle. But like if you really stand on it, it shifts nice and firm and quick. So at some point, you know, it's got 181,000 miles. The motor looks completely original. It does have a little bit of leak coming on the back of the oil pan, as you'd kind of expect. So let's see, just nice tight 90. And you see the steering box isn't all wore out. You know, it didn't take a whole lot of turn to get the steering wheel to turn like you should, and it wants to kind of, you can see it wanted to recover to center point without any effort. So all right, I think this is that's pretty much it on this 92 F-150. Super clean truck, beautiful color. It's a solid color. There's no metallic to it, and it just looks awesome. And you can see the reflection of all the snow and all the photos and everything like that. So if you need additional photos or videos, just please don't hesitate to ask.